everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Rivalry with me, Joe Stevens, and Ryan from No Border Sports. How's it going?
It's going great, baby.
Happy Apple Cup week.
Is it the Apple Cup this week?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can guarantee you one thing.
A team from Washington's going to win.
No. Well,
What?
yes, but I can tell you which team's going to win.
Which one?
Washington.
Yep, that's usually what happens.
Yeah. Because
they're
if
projected
anybody knows about Washington college football, the Cougs are known for quote unquote cooging it.
Well, there's a lot of shit going on this year, but that's for a different channel. Back to professional sports for a sec. How'd you feel after your win?
Oh, fucking ecstatic.
That was sorry. That was a dumb question. Let me rephrase that. How did you feel going into the game?
Nervous.
I guess, versus how was your feeling afterwards?
Nervous. I was nervous until we were both 3-and-out for
Twice.
Well, we were 3-and-out. They were 3-and-out. We were 3-and-out. They had the ball again, and they were about to go 3-and-out, and Fred Warner got an interception. And that's when I was like,
yeah.
That's when I kind of was like, hey, the offense kind of at times has been slow, which it's like when you're doing the script, you're just throwing plays at them, trying to figure out how they're going to play you. So I'm not really worried about coming out and starting slow anymore. It's going to come with the territory at times. It's more important to figure out how they're going to play you so you can go ahead the rest of the game trying to conduct your mission. So once I was like, oh, the defense is there. You know what I mean? Like the defense is there. That means that no matter when the offense decides to kick it into a gear and get going, it doesn't matter. The defense is already locked in because 3-and-out, then an interception. You know what I mean? They did great. And then they gave up a touchdown. But at the same time, like watching us run the ball all game when the Jets' biggest strong point to me is their defensive line. They've got some big stuff, and their secondary is good too. But the defensive line really kind of intimidates me against my offensive line, right?
And did Sauce get hurt, or was he?
I have no idea.
Because I doubt they'd bench him. I saw people on obviously Twitter saying he was benched, but he had to be hurt because I saw that he was pulled from the game at some point.
So first thing I heard, Brock Purdy went 6 for 6 when Sauce Gardner was not in the game. You know what I'm saying?
I saw he had it, but when I was watching, like I guess I didn't tell the viewers. When I was watching, I saw him make an incredible breakup against, I think it was Ayuk, where it should have been like a for sure catch. I mean, Sauce he's no joke. He's
all over. But yeah, he went out. They never said. They were asking about the sideline people. They were asking about him, and they were like, no, everything's fine. And then a couple plays later, Sauce is back in. So it could have been first game. I don't know if he was tired. Like if he had, been running all around and they're like, let's get this guy a break. You know what I mean? Because we're going to need him for the long haul. And, first game, I don't know, maybe his conditioning it doesn't make sense. Unless he got like the wind knocked out of him at some point, but he would have been on the ground and there would have been more to see if that would have happened. So I have no idea. Trent Williams also went out for a second. Supposedly it was an IV. I don't know. It could be. He was walking funny too. So he could have taken a shit. I don't know.
Could have taken a shit.
Yeah.
Felt weird in his knee. Didn't want people
to
see.
I'm just saying, it was either he had to get an IV or he had to take a shit, and Kyle didn't want to put him out there to everybody. That's how I see it. It does it. If it was, and if it is those two things, great.
Fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Least of my worries, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other notable, well, I guess injuries happen, or did you guys come out pretty unscathed?
We came out pretty unscathed. Other than Juwan Jennings looked like him re-aggravating an injury that he already had. Not or like hurting it more, I'm guessing, because he was limping after that, and that doesn't mean that things just got better. So I'm pretty sure that will carry on into this more into the season. Who knows? It might be something that makes him miss some time later on down the road. Something to look forward. Look towards. Not towards,
not
but
to.
Look out for.
Look out for, yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, the Hawks didn't. We had two key injuries, both kind of. Well, George Fant looks like he's going to miss some time. He had a knee injury, and nobody's saying what it is. So it looks like we're down to our second string right tackle, like we were all game, and he did not play great.
No, he didn't.
Forsyth. No,
they weren't also. If I remember correctly, they weren't giving him too much help either.
Yeah, because the interior also needed help. I mean, they didn't play great either. So it's not.
It seemed like
tight end help. No,
like tight end giving some, and also, well, there was times where like your tight end was like not on the line but behind it, and it instead of just free releasing, you can take a step over and put your shoulder into somebody to help out.
Yep. Kenneth Walker has an abdomen deal, I guess.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, so nobody's quite sure what's going on. I'm sure he'll be fine. If not,
well,
Charbonnet needs to step up. Yeah, I guess it could be like a sports hernia, right? So.
Well, no, but what's our players have had? Is it an oblique?
Yeah, oblique is in your abdomen.
Yeah, but that like specific muscle is like it's painful, and it's one you use all the time, obviously, because it's in your abs. So, and you usually need surgery, which would suck for him if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about it right now. We should find more about it tomorrow. I guess we can kind of go into the offensive line play because the first half was dog shit. I mean, of the entire offense. But it all started with that offensive line. The first play is a sack. The very first play of the season, sack. That was sweet, right? I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Second play, an awful interception, which leads to a 3-and-out. Broncos kick a field goal. Seahawks defense played lights out, guys. I mean, fucking lights out. 9 3-and-outs that game. I mean, it felt like it was almost every drive was 3-and-out. They couldn't run the ball on us. What? Go ahead.
I wouldn't say they were lights out, but they proved that there's something to be talked about.
If it wasn't
they handled business.
Let's see. So the punt return fumble, they forced the Broncos to 3-and-out. That was a field goal, right? I'm not going to put that 3 points on them. The interception, 3-and-out field goal. I'm not going to put those 3 points on them. And then, so that's 6. You obviously can't put the 2 safeties on them, which I should have brought up when it came to our offensive line.
Yeah.
So really, the defense allowed 10 points, 1 touchdown in the fourth quarter, and then a field goal, which was freaking awesome. And they were tackling well. It seemed like they were run gapping great. We made them one-dimensional. We made a rookie quarterback throw the ball 42 times, and he looked like shit. Bo Nix looked exactly like I hoped Bo Nix would look like against us.
Well, but where he was picked, all this and that, I wouldn't expect anything less. He's a rookie quarterback getting the start. Like his whole season
in one of the loudest environments in professional sports. That's
Yeah.
another thing. But yeah, no, I'm so impressed with our defense. It was just such a
Welcome to
breath
the
of
NFL, kid.
yeah, it was just such a breath of fresh air. Seeing the defense play great. The offense, like we said, struggled the first half.
Whew.
Second half made some adjustments. 17 points in the second half. Nothing to scoff at, right? If you can score 17 points a half, that's 34 points a game.
Yeah.
You guys know about the 34 points a game thing, right?
Yeah.
Was that your guys' number? So,
31. It was like every year, every game we were getting like 31 or sometimes 34. But yeah,
but
17
yeah,
points and a half is good.
yeah. So, we went into the half. One thing I think Mike McDonald, you can tell. One thing I could tell that he was a rookie head coach is what was the score? I think it was 8
to 9.
8 to 9 because we scored a touchdown, and he wanted to go up 3 points to be up a field goal. So just kick the field goal, make it 10 to 9, because that came back to bite us in the ass. I mean, the last, it was 20 to 26 to end the game. We had to convert a first down. If they had scored a touchdown, we'd have lost, right? Just take your points when you can get them, right? And don't go for 2 until you have to. I'm a big believer in that. I'm not one that's like, unless you get an offsides penalty on the kick, or roughing the kicker, where they basically put the ball on the goal line and you think you can take advantage of that. I don't go for 2 in the first quarter or first half.
I think you need to think when you have a better picture of how the game is playing out. That's when you need to do that. You know what I mean? Because you want to take all the points you can for sure when you can in the beginning, because that's the pile that you got all built up, and then you look at the other opponent's pile and you go, okay, well, the size of my pile versus his pile makes all my decisions for me. I heard Bill Belichick was talking about,
I saw that too.
There's only 3 quarters in the game, and the fourth quarter is just you essentially situational reacting to your opponent, or having to, like, the Jets went down and scored a touchdown on us after we had pulled people and they had pulled people. I don't think Rodgers was in on that drive, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So that's just dead time. We all call it dead time. We know what's happening. We know the other team can go out and do all this stuff, but they're not going to, because they don't want to risk certain things. So they're going to play it slow and, run out the clock, while the other one is just trying to get their chance to get back at the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all know it's going to happen there, but it's everything you do up until that point. I also thought it was great how his concept of dealing with the number one receiver, like, if to take away the number one receiver, he would put his number one cornerback on the number 2, and then he would double the number 1. So essentially he's taking away your first and your second option. He's the guy who's good at just being plastered all over somebody is all over your second option, and your first option's got 2 people he's got to weave through. You know what I mean? So I thought that was a great tactic. Shout out Pat McAfee show for having Bill Belichick on.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet. One thing I will say is Pat Surtain looked pretty damn good against DK. DK had a few catches in there, but Patrick Surtain shouted him all game. I mean, you can tell he's the highest paid cornerback in the NFL for a reason. Because I thought, I was like, no big deal, whatever. It's just because of his name, just because his dad played in the NFL too. And then you watch him and you're like, damn, guys I've seen DK just blow by. His technique is so good. Lockett really stepped it up for us, and Walker and Charbonnet. So
I don't know if I would keep DK after this year, depending on I don't know what his contract looks like, but
he'll be here for 2 more years at least.
If he doesn't, what did he do this game? I didn't see him do much except for get 2 penalties.
Okay, I was going to say he got called for holding twice.
Yeah.
It was egregious. I mean, he was kind of arguing with the ref.
Well, he like
it was
he had a hold of like.
No, he wasn't inside. He was not inside.
No.
He was basically fucking hugging the guy.
And if I remember correctly, it was like long and drawn out.
Yeah.
Like, and if I remember, they replayed the play, and within, I'd say, about a third of a second of him having that hold, it was no longer necessary for him to have that hold because the play had already passed him, and he's still just.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
and bring it back to that safety that we had, not to get off DK, because I think that's a huge subject, but bring it back to the safety we had. It was an outside zone run to the left, and our right guard bear hugged his assignment. He didn't even have to touch him, right? And the play would have gained 3 yards. The first safety. Right. He did not have to touch his guy, right? The play
you could just stand in the way, and him having to get around you would take him out of the play.
Dude, no, he could have literally just obviously not been there, but just stood up. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, just be a cone, right?
Just that's what I'm saying. If somebody's got to sidestep you to get around, to get back into where there's behind you, you've taken them out of the play because it's backside already. Like,
exactly.
Within a half a second, that no longer matters.
Yeah, so I think the play gained like 2 or 3 yards, but enough to kind of get you a little extra comfort to where you can run it again, and then punt it. You know, play field position a little bit. But
I don't like going outside when I'm backed up. I like just right down the throat.
And then they did that the second time. Right guard again missed his block and got tackled in the backfield. I was right next to this Broncos fan. He was a bit of a prick, and I'm happy I didn't drink it all during the game. I had 2 beers, but I mean, like, I wasn't going with my buddies or whatever.
You were just wetting your whistle. You weren't drinking. You were just
so
making sure you weren't parched.
Yeah, so he goes, when's the last time a team has scored 2 safeties in the same game? And next time it broke, I look it up. I go, oh, the Dolphins did it to you guys in 2017. That was the last time.
They said that on the
really?
Yep, they said that on I was watching Red Zone. So either they were playing it on the show, or the Red Zone was talking about it. Somebody was talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty funny." I was gonna ask you about that too, but
I googled it. I googled it during the game just because I was like
dealing with asshole.
Not even, he wasn't too big of an asshole, right? Because I gave him a high five when the Seahawks scored every time. I'm like, yeah, too bad you can't pin it inside the one again. And it sucks too, because the first safety, I think Julian Love had an interception at the 1 yard line, right? So he took away a field goal. Okay. And instead of it being a 3-point play with him having an interception, it becomes a 1-point play. And then the second one was a punt that they downed at the 1. And by the way, the first one, when we got it inside the 1, our offense looked like shit. When Julian Love intercepted that ball, our offense already looked like shit. And I said, just punt the ball. I texted my friend too before we got the safety. And you can go back to whatever time, you can do whatever. So probably like 5 minutes, because there was a TV timeout, or 2 minutes. Before we actually got the safety, I said, just punt the ball. Don't even try. It was right in front of me too. And so we got a safety there. And then I said it to the people around me. He goes, what's your advice this time? And I go, punt the ball. Don't give it a shot, you know. But anyway.
Which is, it's funny because somebody be like, you're fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, ideally, you should not have to worry about punting the ball. I mean, you could have spiked it 3 times and fucking, you know.
So I remember how I told you I watched that Mariners documentary about on what's that
SB
thing?
Nation, Secret Base, same thing.
Yeah,
Dorktown.
Secret Base, Dorktown. Yeah. So I watched another one about the worst punt in history.
The worst punting game or the worst punt?
The worst punt, like the worst punt play. I can't remember that one, but when they were before they were telling you the whole scoring metric and all this and that, which might be interesting to actually take down and grade your team's punts. But hold on. There was a pretty much, depending on where you're at the field, if you're planning to get the ball back, let's say in like the fourth quarter, and you're like, oh, I'm at the 45. It's, let's say 3rd and 4. I'll just punt it, and then hopefully I'll get it back in better position, right? Mm-hmm. Well, what happens when you punt, average punts 40 yards, average drive is, I think, 18 or 19 yards at this point in time when they did the math. So you're going to punt it 40 yards this way. They're going to go 18 or 19 yards and then punt it back to you. You're always going to get the ball further behind you, giving your chances of going down and scoring, making it even harder. Mm-hmm. So not to say that like you shouldn't punt, but there's probably times when you should go for it because you have more chance on scoring the closer you are to the end zone. You know what I mean? So,
and I don't know if you saw, but the Raiders did some shit like that. I mean, they were down 6 points in the fourth quarter. 4th and 1 on the Chargers 45. Right?
Yeah.
They were in opponent territory and they punted it. And you're like, okay. I saw it on replay, obviously. I didn't watch it. I think it was going on at the same time as the Seahawks game was, but I just saw that the other day. Or today.
To me, that's loser mentality. It's the fourth quarter. There's 1 yard to go. If we can't go 1 yard, how do I expect us to go 80?
Well, no. If you're on your own 20, it's one thing. If you're on your own 30, but you're in opponent territory. I mean, if you're around the 50-yard line, try it. Around the 50 or beyond.
It doesn't make sense. And they were, if I remember correctly, they were able to get the ball back. If I remember correctly.
Anyways.
I'm not sure.
Let's get back to DK for a sec.
Yes.
Metcalf kind of got shut down this weekend. Don't expect that, obviously, the whole year. What else did you want to know about him? If I think we should re-sign him?
It's like he shows up and then he doesn't. And he shows up and then he doesn't. And then if he's not showing up, he's getting penalties.
Actually, I think I'll come back to you next time because there was a weird stat about that. The penalties, him versus, I think it was Tyreek Hill or something. And DK actually accumulated less penalties than him.
Yeah, but Tyreek gets the ball and he goes.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the penalties they say are such a factor, but I mean, I think he's even below average. I think they're untimely penalties.
People are drafting Tyreek Hill around before they're drafting DK Metcalf.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe two. This is what I'm saying. And it's because he can look, those penalties don't matter when they're after a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if he gets a penalty here because he's going to go, you're going to give him the ball in the next play when you're 3rd and 15 and he's going to go to the house with it.
Well, and DK's been pretty clutch though too.
Debo gets a penalty. We give it takes back one of our touchdowns. We give the ball to Debo on the next play. He goes and scores a touchdown. He makes up for it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you fucked it up. Okay. Well, now you got to unfuck it. You know what I mean? Like, but he's got that talent. DK, I don't think he can get above himself in certain situations.
Ask me This is a question. I'm going to have you hold off on it till midway
Okay.
through the year. I just think this is one thing that I
when is your
love and
bye
hate.
week?
I think like 8, like
Let's
perfect.
come
It's like
back
right in
on
the
your
middle
bye
of the
week.
season.
Yeah, let's come
What?
back to it on your bye week.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let me double check really quick. It is week 10, so
Yeah.
mid-season. Yeah. There's yeah. That's one thing I love and hate about week 1 is there's so much to look at and so many overreactions, but it's like we finally got a taste of it, right? Like DK is not going to catch the ball 3 times every game this season, right? He's going to get fed a bit. One thing I can complain about, they only ran one jet sweep, and to a play that you'd think, get the ball to DK and use his speed and size, but they handed it to Chenault. I wasn't a fan of that. But let's get a little bit into you guys. Any complaints at all about the 49ers offense, defense, special teams?
In the beginning, it seemed like in that first drive or not the first drive, but in the drive that they went down and scored, it seemed like Aaron Rodgers had all day, and I didn't like that. And then everything changed after that. And that's something I didn't like, but it got corrected. So I really don't have anything to complain about. McKivitz needs to figure some things out. This is also week 1.
Yeah.
Week 1, crazy shit happens on week 1. Great teams like Aaron Rodgers got beat 30-0 2 years ago, week 1, when he was with the Packers. And everybody was talking about, oh, this is MVP season for Aaron Rodgers. And he got blown out at home, if I remember correctly. It might not have been at home. I might be lying there. But it was 30-0. And
yeah, no, it was at home. It was against the Saints. I remember that.
Yes.
And it was,
yeah.
I think it was 2021. I could be wrong, but yeah, he did come back and play really good that season.
Yeah. So there's teams that you think are great that start out 3-0 and then they just tank.
Mm-hmm.
So the beginning of the season isn't really much. By week 5 or 6, that's when the cream is going to rise to the top and we'll figure out who's actually worth their salt. I hear a lot of people were saying the 49ers are the Super Bowl or NFC's Super Bowl favorite, you know what I mean, for going to the NFC.
On paper, yeah, they are.
Well, yeah, but they were saying I was hearing a lot of people talk about after the play of last night, and it's like, well, and especially thinking that CMC wasn't even in the game, and you got Jordan Mason, an undrafted free agent, essentially just coming in there. I think that's still an overreaction because it's game 1. We don't know what's going to happen throughout the season. I don't even want to bring things up because they might happen. You know what I'm saying? But exactly, we don't have anything other than just seeing what happens. Look at what happened to your game. I was like, holy shit, they're gonna have a tough first couple of games. Right, looking at your offense, going, your defense is going to have to carry your offense. For a couple
second half.
Second half, yeah, second half.
Well,
it was like a tale of 2 different teams. I was expecting to happen over games and a half.
Well, and I hate to sound like a total idiot here, which isn't anything new, but
don't worry, no one will notice the difference between us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy it didn't go perfect. There's lots of things to work on and improve. I'm happy we didn't win, 42-0, right? And go, oh man, we were so fucking good. Mike McDonald said it the best in his press conference. He said, well, that's exactly how we drew it up all game. We wanted to throw a little adversity in there to start the game off, then overcome it. Just being a smartass, obviously. Yeah, what's up, Rick? Sorry.
He says, Let us take it one weekend at a time. Let's not get ahead. Let me say hi to to the Seahawk fans. How are you guys doing in the Northwest? I'm doing okay in Chicago. Rick Diaz is from Chicago. How about those Niners? Yeah, bud. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Wait, you are a 49ers fan, Rick?
Rick Diaz is a 49ers fan, yes.
Sorry, I was trying to read that. First, I thought he was a Seahawks fan.
No,
And then I
he was
read
saying he's just being respectful. Unlike you guys. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, fucking right. The last thing I gotta say is take it 1 week at a time. Yep. Minnesota, Sunday. Any concerns? I mean, it's hard coming off a performance like that. I mean, it is hard coming off a stellar performance. Just as a fan, being like, what do we really need to fix? You know,
you're right.
Obviously, the team has things, but what do you want to see as a fan?
So I have a feeling that we came out and ran the ball because they were thinking they're going to pass the ball on us because they don't want to run against our front. I was thinking that was the strategy, because I was like, geez, Kyle, you normally like to be balanced, and he was not balanced. When I look at their stats, first thing offensively, Sam Darnold did a great job. He only had 5 incompletions. He had a 79% pass rating, 208 yards. But what I thought was impressive is he got the ball to fucking everybody. He got the ball to everybody. Almost everybody on here who got a reception had at least 2. One guy had one reception, 21 yards, Jalen Naylor. So it seemed like he favored Justin Jefferson, obviously, Jordan Adelson. He hit 3 times, and Ty Chandler. So looks like that's who we need to look at and concentrate on. I'm not worried. I think our defense has got this. Now, our offense, they got a guy who's running around on the field just tackling shit out of everybody, and Byron Murphy Jr. So that guy we need to kind of game plan for, because we don't need him in our cookie basket or in our cookie jar. But they got 2 interceptions, and they got, let's see, 5 sacks that last game against the Giants. I don't expect anything close to that against.
I don't either.
They didn't score any points in the fourth quarter. They scored 2 touchdowns in the third, and then they scored a touchdown in each other quarter. So,
yeah, I guess Darnold looked awesome in the first half and came back to life. Came back down to earth in the second half, from what I hear.
I haven't watched it yet. I was going to save that for the last game that I watched this week. They also did this beatdown with less time of possession. They had 5 minutes less.
Yeah. Yeah, the Giants look like shit, dude. And that's just
whoa. Both by play and also visually, they looked like, I hated those fucking oh my god. Who the fuck thought that was okay? Like I seen 49ers fans talk about, god damn it, those Seahawks unis look fucking clean. Like they were mad to admit how clean the throwbacks, and they do, rightly so. If I was a Seahawks fan, those would be the throwbacks that I want. You know what I mean? Those are the throwback unis I think are fucking just, those are gangster. That's old school. You know what I mean? That's OG status right there. So
yeah. Also, the whoop there it is guy played at halftime, so that was cool. They played whoop there it is. I thought that was pretty random. Taking back to the 90s.
That's not just a guy. That's
no, I know.
Tag
team.
Yeah. Back again.
Yeah.
Party up on it.
I was out on that. As all you know, I go to all the Hawks games. I'm much more of a fan of the corgi races. Realize those don't really come until October, November usually, but kind of all about the corgi races rather than the Whoop There It Is.
Man, when I saw the Scoop There It Is commercial with him in it, I was like, hell
trust
yeah.
me, they did that version too.
Oh, they did?
And they did, I'm assuming there was a Reese's version because they were also singing about Reese's. So maybe look that up in your own time.
Sure. Let me check it right here. Let's go see if we can't get some brought up here. I'm sure everybody wants to hear it.
I mean, it sucked, guys. Being honest, I thought it was dumb. If you're gonna do a '90s, they should have had like freaking Alice in Chains out there or something like they did a couple of years ago. That would have been sick for the '90s throwback uniforms. Instead, we got Tag Team, who said they were from Washington D.C. about 1,000 times, and usually I'm pretty tuned up at halftime, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't really care. This time I was like, man, this is garbage. I mean, I was like, this sucks.
It's funny they're saying, yeah, Washington, D.C. Yeah, well, bro, this is the state of Washington, okay? That gives you no clout around here. Like, do you have chickens? Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Unless you got... Yeah.
Anyways, you're worried about Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy went to the University of Washington.
Yes, he did.
Great defensive back.
So I'm kind of more worried about how we're using Debo. A lot of his stuff wasn't fruitful during the game, but
really?
when it mattered, it seemed like he got it. But also at the same time, like our kickoff thing is, okay, we're gonna put Juice and Debo in the backfield.
I did see that. I heard. Sorry, I didn't even see it. I heard it on the radio.
Yeah. That's nasty. That's nasty. We're gonna put two of our best dudes back there. One's great at blocking and blocking in sync with somebody, and the other one is Debo, who can make people look stupid. Yeah, kick it to us.
Yeah, I'll kick it to use check every time. That's fine, or just out the back of the end zone.
I don't think they do it like that. It seems like use check moves up, and Debo just will run to one side or the other.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of use check, you know that. Anyways.
Haters.
I don't know. My favorite moment of use check's career was him just getting blown the fuck up by KJ Wright. Because I guess KJ said he was going, your guy, KJ, right now. Yeah, I totally forgot he was on you guys' staff. He said at 44 kept going for my knees. And he said, keep going after my knees. I'll show you what the fuck's going to happen. And Juszczyk tried to catch the ball up the middle and just fucking bang. Fucking KJ laid him the fuck out. And I was like, yep, that's right. That's my guy. Now he's with you. Kind of lame, but it's all right.
We like talent, and he had talent, and we had D'Amico Ryans, right? Like, we love those guys. Yeah. They're just
it's just kind of sad too, because KJ even said he was like, if Pete was still there, I'd probably be coaching in Seattle right now. But obviously, it's a whole new coaching staff. So what's he gonna do?
And totally it's a better setup for him here.
I don't know if you saw Marshawn giving my coach a back massage in the middle of the first quarter.
No.
You didn't fucking see it?
No.
Dude, middle of the game, first quarter, like 2 minutes left. Our defense is running onto the field. Keep in mind, Mike McDonald calls the defense, right? And he's in the middle of a call, and Marshawn Lynch comes up behind him and rubs his shoulders. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? And he smiled and laughed at him, and then he was like, yeah, I just was like kind of thrown off guard because like kind of trying to call a game here, and then you got Marshawn Lynch coming up to you rubbing your shoulders in the middle of the freaking game.
Bro,
only one guy could get away with that, probably. I can't really think of anybody else that's that weird that could possibly get away with doing something like that to a coach he's never played for, by the way. I mean, he had no connection with Mike McDonald.
None.
So, yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah, it's Marshawn. He does what he wants, and that's cool.
He's always been that way, too. Just, okay, yeah,
Yes.
it's Marshawn Lynch, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has his own show now with Mike Robinson. You can catch their podcast on YouTube.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Michael Robinson used to do this thing called the Real Rob Report. And it wasn't really a show. It was just him going around with
You won tickets. You won tickets. Didn't you win tickets one time off of there?
To what?
Never mind. Back to your story.
No, it's not me. No, he used to do the show when he played for the Seahawks called the Real Rob Report. And he'd just basically go around the locker room talking to everybody. And then he'd post it up on YouTube. But one of the segments was always messing with Marshawn. And Marshawn Lynch would never talk to the camera, So he'd fucking follow Marshawn Lynch into the bathroom and go, Beast, what you doing in there? Beast, aren't you going to come out and say hi?
That's hilarious.
Yes.
No, their show's good. It just, they got to bleep it a lot.
No, it's with Gavin Newsom, correct?
Who?
Gavin Newsom.
The governor of California?
I don't know who it is. One sec.
Fuck you talking about?
1 sec.
1,000. 1,000?
Yeah, introducing Politicking with Gavin Newsom, Marshawn Lynch, and Doug Hendrickson.
No, I'm talking about the podcast with Mike Robinson and Marshawn Lynch.
Well, Marshawn Lynch has another podcast called Politicking with Gavin Newsom, Marshawn Lynch, and Doug Hendrickson.
Marshawn get around, bro.
Yeah. So that's what I thought you were talking about.
I might have to go check that out to hear Marshawn dropping N-bombs and calling Gavin Newsom blood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Any predictions for this weekend?
49ers win. I think it's smackety smack. What games are you excited to watch other than yours this week?
I'm really excited about the Seahawks and the Patriots. I think that's the game I'm most excited for.
Yes, obviously. I asked about any other games.
Okay, yeah. The Apple Cup's on Saturday at 12:30 on Peacock.
LA versus Arizona? Ooh, what about Chicago versus Houston Sunday night?
No, you know what? I did see one that intrigued me, but now that I think Mr. Unlimited is out again, which, by the way, I'm assuming everybody saw. He was dressed in full game gear with eye black on.
Full game gear.
Inactive. I mean, like, he was not allowed to play at all. Not even as an emergency quarterback option.
Not even as an emergency. They might change their mind though. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
you should make a video about that, bro. You should make a short about that.
Well, Mike Tomlin thought he had enough to deal with Antonio Brown. Now you have the exact opposite of the spectrum, but also just as crazy. So I was excited to see the Steelers-Broncos game. I really was excited to see all the Denver fans boo Russell Wilson after telling us how classless we were for booing Russell Wilson. I was really excited to see that. I think what else do we have on the docket? Because that was really the only other one that I was like, oh, okay.
Are you going to win? Are you going to win against the Patriots?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe if our offense steps it up like they did in the second half, just continues to progress. Keep in mind, that's our first game with that offensive coordinator. That was his first game in the NFL too. He made the necessary adjustments at half, and that's something we really like to see that we haven't seen from Seahawks coordinators in the past. It seems like you go in with a game plan and they don't stray away from it, win or lose. It was nice. I'm excited for that defense. I think it's kind of a soft landing to start the season, going up against the Broncos week 1, the Patriots week 2. Pretty soft landing for us. I think we should be 2-0 after the weekend.
But those Patriots played pretty good against the Bengals there.
Yeah, so did every team that played the Bengals the first 3 weeks of the last 3 seasons.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, no disrespect to the Patriots at all. I just I feel like we got the edge on offense, defense, maybe not special teams. I'll say what I told Candace last week. The one thing how I see the Seahawks not winning is special teams. And the Seahawks muffed a punt last week that turned into 3 points. And I get how fast they respect, especially my friend here, JoJo. I don't know what that was about.
This was a while ago. Yeah.
Sorry, dude. Apologize about that. Special teams. Definitely, maybe don't have D. Williams out there. He did not look like anything special returning punts. So, yeah, I feel like that. Realistically, just go out there, play aggressive, play good defense, and let's see where it takes us. I expect us to win. I'll be pretty disappointed if we don't.
Yeah. Who knows? There might be some crazy stuff that happens.
Yeah, who knows? What else? What else do we have on the docket this weekend?
I don't know. You want to talk about the rest of the games this week?
Yeah, just really quick.
Buffalo and Miami.
I got
Thursday
Miami.
night. You got Miami. I don't know.
It's
I'm
September,
going Buffalo.
Bro. It's September. Miami's damn good in September.
Oh yeah, why did they look like shit?
I heard they played pretty good.
Oh, they had 400 yards, 319 of it passing. They scored 20 points. They looked like
Miami?
Yeah.
Didn't even look at it.
Yeah. Okay, the only one that makes them look worse is Baltimore. Baltimore had 452 total yards and only scored 20 points. But if you watch Miami, I watched that game, they look like the greatest average team of all time. You know what I'm saying? They look like a Hall of Fame average ass team.
I still got Miami.
Yeah, they couldn't run the ball, so they just passed it to Achane. And Achane, I heard people praising Achane, and he looks like I don't think he's that great. Off of this game.
Peace. Well, just based off last year, he's fast as fuck.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that you got talent.
Miami, I think, is the fastest team in the NFL. Just speed-wise.
That doesn't mean anything right now. I don't.
Well, let's see. I got Miami next.
Yeah. Green Bay versus Las Vegas at Baltimore. That's Baltimore.
Yeah.
Chargers at Carolina. Chargers.
See, part of me feels like, so that's my big upset of the week.
Yeah, you're fucking tripping.
No, you know why? Because
hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Keep talking.
Go ahead.
No. You keep talking.
Everybody's talking about how terrible Bryce Young is this year. And it was after I realized last year he didn't do anything to really prove anybody wrong. I just feel weird weird, really good performance coming from Bryce Young this week.
Okay, where are we at again? Boom. Chargers. You know what Harbaugh likes to do, run the ball, right?
Yep, quite a bit.
Okay, well,
And play defense.
the Panthers gave up almost 200 yards rushing, 180 yards.
Just
rushing.
don't ask, but it just makes sense to me. It makes sense because it makes no sense that the Panthers win.
Okay.
It makes no sense.
Okay, let's move on. Whatever you want to do, you want to do that stupid shit, you can. New Orleans versus Dallas. What's going to happen here? New Orleans
Dallas. I think that was a fluke by the Saints last week. I don't trust Derek Carr to play really good all season.
It's not a fluke. They were playing the fucking Panthers, the team you just picked to beat the Chargers.
Okay, yep. I think the Saints are a fluky team. Yeah, I think Dallas wins it by a lot.
Okay. I'm out on that. Tampa Bay versus Detroit. I think Detroit's going to take that one. It's at Detroit.
Yeah.
Baker's been looking good.
Camouflage themselves into the end zone again.
Holy moly.
Do you see that?
I could, bro. Stafford, I got to give Stafford some fucking credit. Okay, his left tackle goes out, then his right guard or left tackle also, or left guard goes out, to the point where if you look at Cooper Kupp's like pass trajectory, where they plot out all this, most of them's coming from the left side, and it's because that's my receiver that I'm going to throw to. It's right. He's right next to me. So then when the pressure comes in my face, I could throw to the guy who's, you know what I mean? So like you could tell Stafford was doing amazing shit. He just wasn't, he came up short. That I don't want to play this guy. I don't want to play him. You know what I mean? Like he looked nasty. He was hurt and looked nasty. They had to tape his ankle, if I remember correctly. I got it in my notes.
What's the deal? Who else we got? We got the Ravens, Raiders, Browns, Jags.
Well, hold on. We'll go in order. I got Indianapolis versus Green Bay.
Indy. The Packers don't have a quarterback.
Yeah. Even with Love, I don't know if they got a quarterback. Cleveland versus Jacksonville. I'm going Jacksonville here.
Yeah, me too. Deshaun Watson is a total waste of
Plus, space. He just had new news drop of him getting hit with another lawsuit.
Yeah.
Seattle and New England, obviously. Jets versus Tennessee. This is not a clear-cut game.
Yeah, I'm still taking New York.
What up, Seahawks Eddie? You're still taking New York Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's more of a coin flip to me at this point. I'm not gonna mark anything down yet because I'm gonna do a little more research before I make my New York Giants versus Washington.
Give me the commies.
I want to go there too, but like I don't know. What will we see? Did Danny Jones just have some week one I'm shit?
No,
or did
it's like, see, he's had 5 seasons. I think 2 that were plagued by injury, and then 1 that was good, and then 2 where he looks like he did last week. I don't know. He sucks. Give me the fucking commies, even though they don't look that good either.
Okay, so this next game, I think it's actually going to be the game of the week.
Bears, Texans.
No, LA Rams versus Arizona. And the reason why I'm going to say it's the game of the week, because I think they're actually pretty even. Cardinals,
that's what I see. The money is actually the Cardinals are favored by 1.5.
Wow.
I'm still taking. I like the Rams better. I think they can get that Kyron Williams the ball, and that guy can run.
I think you got enough veteran pieces on the Rams that when it gets into the later quarters, they'll be able to strap the shoes up a little tighter. You know what I mean? And they know how to go in the extra gear when you got none, and they can bring along all the newbies. You know what I mean? The Chargers are still kind of young and haven't tasted anything, so they don't have anybody who's like a champion or ever been a champion. You know what I mean? So
there's only 3 1 p.m. games. That sucks.
Yeah. And then, yeah, you're right. And then we got Pittsburgh and Denver. I'm going Pittsburgh here.
I'm going Denver just because that home field. I feel like
maybe I should wait to see what happens with Mr. Unlimited.
They said Mr. Unlimited is still limited, and
Mr. Full Dress on the sidelines is still limited.
I guess they told them before, like way before the game. I guess they told him on basically like Friday that, hey, you're not going to play. And he's like, oh, come on, just let me keep trying. They're like, no.
He's the backup quarterback.
Maybe.
Maybe. Wait. Breaking news. Russell Wilson's the backup quarterback.
Sure.
If he's dressing up like he could play, okay, and they're still saying he can't go, that means Russell Wilson can go, and he's just a backup quarterback. Breaking news.
Did you see the?
I can't believe.
Did you see the Pat McAfee show today where they
No.
were talking about him? Or maybe, sorry, it was yesterday. I guess one of the Steelers reporters reported that he was visibly pouting in the locker room after the game.
Because that's what a bitch would do.
After they won. But their offense did not score a single point, okay?
Right.
It was all field goals.
If you're really a team player, you would be excited. You know what I mean?
Give me Denver. I think Denver wins the fucking game, dude. I think they're at home. Maybe the Steelers offense score a touchdown this week, but I think seeing what the Broncos do against the Steelers, well, I guess we'll see the Seahawks play the Patriots first. But seeing how the Broncos handle the Steelers will tell you a little bit more about the Seahawks, too. Bengals Chiefs.
Your defense only let them give up 7. Essentially gave up 17 points out of their 20. No, you say 13 points.
Our defense.
Yeah, remember when you did the math thing? How many points?
Yeah, so if we didn't muff the punt, right, that's 3 points. Take off from 20, so that'd be 17. If Geno didn't throw that interception, right, that's another 3 points. So that
and then
would
the
be
2 safeties.
14, and then the 2 safeties. So 10 points our defense allowed. Realistically. They allowed a drive to get it to where they were either in field goal range or scored a touchdown.
And Pittsburgh
allowed 10 points.
So Denver was only able to really score 10 points, honestly, and Pittsburgh was able to put up 18 points. Not by their offense, but by their defense and their special teams.
Yes.
I'm going the Steelers.
The over-under, by the way, is definitely. Oh, never mind the pin. No, it's the lowest. 36 points is what they're projecting between the 2 teams. That's the lowest of the week.
That makes sense.
Chiefs, Bengals. What do you think?
Oh, I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Could be a weird. Like these teams have history though. Could be like one of those weird ones, but the Bengals just aren't healthy right now, and the Bengals start like shit every year, and then they come back and they play good. Okay, that leads us to
Chicago and Houston. I got Houston.
I do too. Yeah.
Dude, what's his name? Mr.
Caleb?
First pick of the he didn't do shit. Now, for a rookie quarterback, he didn't do bad at all. But there's other I expected Sam Darnold to do worse than him. Just saying. I expected Sam Darnold to do worse than Caleb.
I did too.
And that's a good thing and I don't think we should be shitting on Caleb for that, but
no.
I expect better. He was like worse than 50%. I think it was like 49 or something percent. Something just under 50.
Because I know one of them was yeah, it must have been. Bo Nix was close to 52. He's like 26 of 42.
Yeah, there was a couple of them that were bad, but I think he had the worst one.
I think all the rookie quarterbacks, they said, kind of played like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Let me math really quick. But yeah, just under 50. It was 14 at 29. So would that be like 48%? No, 49%.
Yeah, it's right on the hair. You got to split one to make it even. So it's tiny, but yeah, I don't think he's right now. I don't think he's an asset. I think he's
make him prove you wrong, right? Because all we can judge. Basically, what I read was the best looking first round quarterback last weekend was Michael Penix and JJ McCarthy, because those are the only two that didn't play.
Yeah.
Speaking of Monday,
Christian or Kirk Cousins looks like fucking shit.
So that's what I want to bring up. I think he's still hurt, and I think you're going to see Michael Penix play on Monday. I would be so fucking stoked.
I don't like that idea.
I love it.
So this is horrible. They brought a quarterback in. They drafted a quarterback high after they brought a quarterback in that hadn't even played yet. Yep. So you've got no loyalty to any quarterback at this point.
Nope.
And I think they have to establish the loyalty with Kirk Cousins by playing him. And once
Kirk can't go, he's going to get hurt eventually this year.
And once you take the thing out the bag, it's hard to put it back in, especially if it's productive. And if it's not, you kind of have to ride the wave because you don't want to bench them and ruin their confidence. Mm-hmm. So
I'm not saying they take Kirk out. I think Kirk is bound to get hurt.
I got you.
I'm this early.
I don't think it is this early, but who knows?
With that, I take the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. I don't even care who's playing. It doesn't matter. I'm taking the Eagles. I thought of big things for the Falcons this year. I was going to be excited. And I never really got too high on them. Game one really showed me, yo.
I mean, it could change. Like we said, it's 1 week. But I never got high on them. Who's a team that I was kind of high on that sucked last week? Sorry, before we leave.
No,
I thought the Ravens were going to beat the Chiefs.
I thought the Ravens were going to beat the Chiefs too. I got them on my. That was like everybody. I was telling Joe earlier that after the 10:00 games were over, I was 5 wins, 5 losses on my pick'ems, and I was like, oh shit. And one of them losses was the Baltimore. I picked Baltimore and Kansas City won.
Who else I thought the Raiders were going to look a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe I trusted the Minshew mustache a little too much.
I trusted Atlanta over Pittsburgh. I trusted Cincinnati over New England.
I can't even. Where is?
Thought the Giants were going to beat Minnesota.
See, I sent my picks in last week. And I forget what day I did it. I did it on Thursday after the game started, but yeah, I got Atlanta wrong because I picked Atlanta over Pittsburgh. Well, the first two I got wrong, so I picked Baltimore and Green Bay. So for Thursday, Friday, wrong.
Oh, I got Philadelphia. I didn't want to pick them, but I did. I don't have confidence in Love.
He played a great second half of the year.
He played a great second half of the year, and it seems
got paid a fuckload of money.
Well, and then he caved. He caved on a 1st and 10 and fucking like knee jerk threw an interception out when all he had to do was throw the ball away and live to play another down. And then right before he got hurt, I was like, I was looking at him like, I don't think this guy's got it in him to win this thing. He doesn't look like a man of confidence. And like some of the plays leading up to that, I did not have confidence in. And like when he got hurt for a second, I was like, is he really hurt? I was like, or is he just trying to like get out of the situation, being like, oh, if only I had that last play, you know what I'm saying? But
how many out of the 16 games did you get right?
11.
Me too.
Yeah, we must have picked almost like the same.
Okay, I had Atlanta over Pittsburgh. I had, which I got wrong, Buffalo over Arizona, got right. Chicago over Tennessee, got right. Cincinnati over.
Oh, I got Chicago. I picked Tennessee.
I picked Houston over Indianapolis, got right.
Me too.
Got the New England Cincinnati game wrong. Picked Miami. Picked Miami over Jacksonville, right? I fucked up. I picked Carolina over New Orleans.
See, that's close. I got New Orleans right.
Picked Minnesota over the Giants.
I did not.
Got the Chargers over the Raiders.
Me too.
Seahawks over Denver. Dallas over Cleveland. Tampa over Washington. Detroit over the Rams.
Yep.
And then I picked the Jets over the
You're
49ers.
such a weirdo. No, that's fine. Like I said, I was uneasy going into the game. When you've got a guy like Aaron Rodgers under center, there's nothing to feel confident about going into that game. You know what I mean? Like he's so even in like that one drive when they scored the touchdown, like I was like, oh shit, like some of these throws he's making, like you can play perfect defense and not be able to defend against that. The throws are so good that they can outwork your defense.
Yeah.
So to me, that's scary.
What do you got going on the rest of the week / the weekend?
I'm doing a lot of studying. I think, and I'm trying to get this new setup down, how I kind of watch these games and record this information. And then once I figure out kind of the flow of things, I'll figure out how I want to like start using the information. As far as putting it out, I think I'm going to start doing certain shows where I just kind of talk about the shit that I find during the week.
Any shows going on or?
No. Ted is got a part-time job, and that is cutting into our show. So we're not doing that at the moment. Yeah.
Well, I don't think I have shit either. Yeah, I think that's literally it. Oh, it's Tuesday, so that's off for me anyways. I thought it was Wednesday.
Yeah. Tomorrow's your anniversary.
Yep, 3 years.
You got something special planned?
Nope.
Oh, you better start planning, bro. Better figure something out.
She has something nice planned for us. So
good.
Yeah. Well, everyone, go Huskies. Go Seahawks. Ryan.
Go Niners. That's all anybody needs. That's all anybody. Don't worry about what he was talking about. That